on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show.
ADR Networks presenta Las opiniones expresadas en este programa son responsabilidad exclusiva de quienes las emiten y no representan necesariamente el pensamiento o alguna posición oficial de este medio de comunicación. ADR Networks presenta.
This is Celestine Angel.
And I'm Isaac Crouch.
And this is...
Foreign Show! On that foreign show.
What it do, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome to that foreign show, Friday 5 p.m.
Hey, I'm Celestine.
I'm Isaac Rakesh.
And we're here on ADR Networks.
Activating your senses.
So...
New time slot. Yes.
Yes, this is our new time at 5 p.m. We are very excited to... I think we are starting the year with this show.
This is the first show of the year for us.
Did we do
on this
any
new
other?
time slot.
Oh, on this new time slot for
Yeah.
sure. Okay. And we would like to take this segment, which usually we just talk about ourselves. I mean, we like to share a little bit of who we are with you. Like we are from Singapore. We are the vocalist of Illuminary, a mystic hip hop band, and yeah, we came to Mexico to like explore being artists, and we are all about spirituality and self-reflection, and like this show, the study of living as a foreigner in mystical Mexico.
Yes.
It's very much our thing, so we like to discuss with our friends and acquaintances, like what do they think about personal growth and how it's been over here in Mexico.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And how it affects you and how it affects your life, and also how it changes you, right? These are the kind of topics that we kind of like to talk about with our guests on that foreign show. And what do we tell the people a bit about our show, like what it is for someone who hasn't actually seen it before? If it's your first time, welcome to the show. Yeah, when you tell them a bit about what we do.
I mean, like I was saying earlier, we are exploring personal growth. We find Mexico very special. It's a place where we feel that we learned a lot. With like just from saying buenas tardes to every single person you meet. It's like so present, and we are definitely like reaping the benefits of it, because it is so good for mental health. And it's just, there's so much to discuss being here. Like one episode we actually talked to a guest about happiness levels, because we do notice that being in Mexico, you are tend to be happier. Like
Yes.
because everybody is prioritizing being happy. Like even like when different things happen, like an earthquake, or like I think people don't go to the drama point. They want to go to the chill, and this is like general thing we have noticed. So okay, like a quick thing before we, because our guest is a bit early, we can see him. And we would like to also introduce a little bit about our guest in a short while, but right now we should show a flyer that would let you know about an event that we're going to be opening at this Carnival Brasilero.
Yes, sir. It's happening on the 27th, and it's going to be fun, right? It's supposed to coincide with Carnival that's happening in the Caribbean countries, and it is happening right here in Mexico City. All right, we have a very exciting lineup that's going to grace the stage that night, right?
Yeah, so our friend Adrieli and her whole crew of dancers, I think it's going to be really exciting. We are going to open for them, and I think another group that we know well, like they are drummers, African drummers. I think they are also part of the opening act. We will update you next week.
Yes, so come on down and catch them, and you can catch. A big shout out also to Sebastian.
Yeah, we should mention Sebastian,
who's Mr. Darth Vader himself. He's the voice of Darth Vader here in Mexico.
The Mexican Darth Vader. He's not Mexican, but he voices like also the Simpsons, quite a few characters.
And,
yeah.
In fact, a whole bunch of characters, but one that I remember is I believe he does Simpsons Dad. Homer Simpson's dad. So Grandpa Simpson, right?
And I think also Bart. But yeah, I don't remember like definitely he does Daffy Duck. That one we know very well. Yeah. So
you get an idea of how talented he is. He's going to be there, special guest, right? And join us. We're going to be performing our tracks as well. Illuminary, we're going to be there. We're going to be dropping some new stuff and also plugging up some old stuff, and also dropping some tracks that we've recently remixed, right? So come on down on that day. It's the 27th of February, right? And the flyer says it's at the Foro, right?
El Foro. That's we need to find out where there it is as well, because El Foro seems to be like the name of a lot of places.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can get more information about it on our Instagram page at RU Illuminary, right? Okay.
We haven't posted it yet, but we will be in the next once we have more info. So
yes, you can come on check out the poster and the show.
So let's tell you real quick about Ritik.
Yes.
Basically, okay. So he's on already, so we're just going to do a very quick intro. He is Singaporean. One of our Singaporean crew. We have so little of us here in
family, son, his family at this point.
In Mexico City, Mexico as well, very little Singaporeans, but but Mexico City, there's only I don't know, maybe 10 of us, I don't know. So Ritik is family. And he is a comedian. He does stand-up, and also, he's also in finance, and as well as he has a podcast. So there's many different things we would talk about, but this episode is all about doing comedy in English here in Mexico.
Bringing the funny, right?
We want to see what what it's like, can people understand him, or what methods he uses to bridge the gap,
with the language barrier and also the cultural barrier, I would say, right? Because different language, you also get a different kind of cultural thing going on. But we're gonna let him explain as he enters the studio. Yes.
All right. How's it going? TGIF, everybody. Can you hear me properly?
Welcome, my man.
Welcome, Ritik.
Can you hear us nice and clear?
You're perfect.
Cool.
Am I sounding good? Because I brought out my podcasting mic.
Oh,
it's gigantic.
I'm gonna turn you up a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, sir. Welcome to the show.
A bit more. Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yes, we were just telling the people a bit about you. You heard our introduction, right? What do you think?
Yes. Family, right? I feel so honored that I'm part of the family now. Yes. Exactly what I needed to hear.
Yeah, would you go fintech first and then talk about your stand-up comedy, or how would you describe what you do, brother? What do you tell the people?
Exciting things about stand-up first, maybe. I think people will immediately log off with as soon as they start talking about tech. As much fun it is for me, it's not everybody's cup of tea. But I think I haven't met a single person who was like, you know what, I don't want to laugh today. I've never met anybody who's never said that, right? Everybody wants to laugh. So yeah, maybe we can jump in with the comedy thing. So during the intro, it was a very good intro as well. And thank you again for having me on. How did I bridge the cultural and language gap, right? That's such an interesting question. I didn't.
What do we start with? Do you feel there is a difference, a cultural thing going on, a gap?
Absolutely. I mean, for people who don't know much about Singapore, it's almost on the opposite spectrum of Mexican culture, right? Singaporeans are a bit more quiet, a bit more sort of rigid. Mexicans tend to be loud, everything is a reason to party. So there is a culture shock for Singaporeans when they come to a place like Mexico. I was born and I grew up in India, so that Indian blood, which I think probably Isaac, we're very similar to Mexicans in that sense.
Yeah.
So that essentially the goal of my jokes was not to have the outcome of bridging any gaps or anything. The aim of my jokes was to be funny, right?
Yes, of course.
And what I realized is that Mexicans, because they are, and all three of us have been in Mexico 10 years now, right? So because of that, it almost becomes familiar. But for somebody that just for the first time comes to Mexico, they're like, why are people doing this? Like small little things, when people would use this as saying yes, right? So I was like, well, do you want me to come over? Like, what is that? Those small little things that I was like, why is all that bombardment of information? And I found a lot of them very funny. And what I like to do with comedy in that sense is, or at least when you're performing comedy, you do, even if you're trying to roast somebody, if you're doing it with a self-deprecating, or if you're making yourself the joke, then it allows the people to connect with you, because you never want to go to a different country and be like, well, why are you guys doing that? That's weird. I take it a step further and I say that, why are you guys doing that? That's weird. This is what happened to me, and it was awkward and really, really weird for me. And that's when people go like, that's kind of like how I pursued that sort of comedy.
It's like a way to be relatable, right? Like we're talking about bridging, and you need to figure out some ways that you can actually connect with the audience. What was the process for you to figure that out, like over here?
Very interesting. So before, as much as I'm confident in doing comedy, I never want to go raw and just suddenly try a joke on stage. It's still tough. Like it's still nerve-wracking. The face of somebody not laughing is like you need a lot of tequilas to forget about it, But so I normally would try these jokes amongst friends, like slip them into conversation, and they found them funny, but it sort of like died down. They were like, okay, oh yeah, Mexicans, we do that, and then it'll become more into an explanation as to why Mexicans did XYZ or what I found funny. Then when I put the story of me having an awkward moment, that's when I was like, that punchline really hit. So for example, like counting in Spanish, right? There's millón, and I didn't know any difference. So when you go to like a Walmart or something, you can withdraw cash and the maximum you can get is 2,000. I didn't know the difference that mil is 1,000, is million. So I went to the cashier and I'm like, yeah, I want to withdraw those millón de pesos. And she's like, oh, this guy's the worst thief in the world. Like he's about it too. So that sort of thing, when it happens to me, that's when I found really funny.
So it's a lot of this kind of like you kind of, I mean, I've watched your set, and you always talk about things that kind of happen to you, and do you find that kind of actually helps people to kind of understand you better, or understand your your set better? Like now that they get, like, for example, I mean, like, do you tell people, say, where you're from, and or do you just start your set?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, do you set it up?
See, because we know you, right? We know you, and so we're kind of already prepped.
Yeah.
And kind of
like Mexicans, they don't even know the accent from our part of the world. There's a lot of things to set up, right? Yeah.
Well, I've been on your show, so let me just say this, since we're on the topic. I'll give you some first-hand experience of what I've noticed, right? Usually, there's one unlucky person in the front row, one or two, and they usually start out by being very excited about the show and very participative until you lock in on one of them and you make them part of the joke.
Yeah, that's the standard, right? It's like...
And then you can see the whole thing kind of, you can see the look of regret, and almost like, You know, that kind of thing.
Man.
And
Oh, man.
tell us a bit about that. You know, this whole roasting thing.
Yeah.
Is that where does that come from, and how do you perfect that? I'm sure your friends are kind of, you know, they must be kind of used to your.
Yeah, maybe that's why they sit like further away at the last show. They sit.
Yeah.
They don't want to get selected for that.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I think about, so to answer the first question, you know, like setting up everything, I realized that because Singapore is so foreign, it doesn't even really matter if I set it up or not. Most, like, a lot of people don't even know where Singapore is, right?
Right.
And that's fine. It's a very, very small country. A lot of people assume that I'm Arabic. Like, nobody really knows where I'm from, so it gives me that liberty to really sort of stretch the imagination.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And unless I'm talking about a specific subject, like, for example, one thing you'll realize, which, you know, a lot of Indian comedians tend to do, is the Indian accent.
Yeah.
I don't do it. I just feel like it. I prefer to talk in my normal voice, you know, as sort of for two reasons. I think the Indian accent is, as funny as it is, I feel like it's cheap laughs. You know, I can do better as a comedian. And
Right.
secondly, a lot of people may not be able to relate to it, especially in a place like Mexico. Right. And I'm terrible with accents too. So so the setup is not so much necessary unless I'm talking about a specific subject. So, for example, when I talk about Singapore, most people in the world know that Singapore is a very strict country, right? You can't chew gum, you can't, you know, spit, you can't pee in public. Everything is a fine or jail. And what I explore is like, did you guys know that blowjobs are also illegal? Because they just assume that Singapore is so strict, they just end up believing that blowjobs are illegal as well. And then I tell people, like, that's why I moved to Mexico, because blowjobs in Singapore are illegal.
Yeah,
So-
but you know what? That's really good one, because it's like you are sharing some part of your world and like related to so Mexicans can also like get to know Singapore but in a funny way.
Yeah.
Yes, almost like your show, or, you know, almost has a bit of like a educational element to it. You know, like you know, like
Educational.
kind of,
Sure,
yeah,
I'll
almost,
take
you know,
it.
Yeah, but I mean,
not the
I
best place to
feel-
get an education in Mexico. I mean, Spanish and English kind of things. but,
Yeah.
you know, it's. I mean, you take a you tend to give some game. You know, like you tend to tell people a bit about our part of the world, and, you know, like,
Mhm.
the whole Fila India joke and everything. You know?
Yep.
This is
Exactly.
what Indian thing is, and I feel like after your show, people kind of have a bit of more of an idea of what
Singapore side.
Singapore is like, and also you know, what India is like also. You know, like
Or what the experience of a foreigner in Mexico is like. You know,
Yeah.
the aim of my
Yeah.
comedy is,
Yeah.
of course, to make people laugh, but also think a little. You know,
Yeah.
I want that expression where they hear the joke, they're like, ha ha ha, wait. That sort of, I want that experience for people who end up coming to my shows. I wouldn't say it happens all the time, but at least that's my try.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's the thing about comedy, right? You make everything funny, so you laugh at yourself and you laugh at, like, nothing becomes too serious, you know, anymore.
Yeah.
And that's one of the healing parts, you know, is the therapy of comedy. Like when you go to watch comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember we were talking about this topic also. We take on the last
The
time
last
you were
time,
you were on our show.
Oh, hello.
Hello,
Oreo
Oreo.
says hi.
Can you hear us, Oreo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he can. Yeah.
Yes. So this topic about, you know, about that we were kind of talking. I mean, about your set and about the comedy that you do, and yeah, okay, educational is not exactly the right word, but it's more of like a, you know, kind of real. There you bring a kind of realness to it, right? Like you're trying to make people like you just said, it's not at the end of the show, kind of go like, ha ha ha, oh, see,
Yeah.
you know, like the moment of kind of. Is that important to you? I mean, as a comedian, this is what we spoke about the last time. You know, like you choosing comedy. You know, remember about it being something to actually bring a kind of realness. You know, kind of transmutation to whatever thing that you're kind of dealing with or processing. What do you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, no, the process and whatnot. Like, I think, and you know, this is just my 2 cents. I think comedy is the easiest form of art and entertainment because I'm just saying shit, I'm just saying words. Like musicians, you guys actually have to learn an instrument and whatnot. So for me to make that even easier, right, is to draw on things that I'm going through currently or what I'm sort of dealing with, but try to make something funny out of it. I think, and the funny thing is that within our group of friends, I don't even think I'm the funniest one, right? I'm just the one who actually does it in front of people with like
Right.
zero shame. So everybody's a comedian one way or the other. Everybody knows how to make other people laugh. The process that I have is to just word it in a way that allows me to relate or bridge that gap between a stranger and myself. Because most of the time when you're telling jokes with your friends, they already have the context. So that sort of process of taking a step back and like, okay, if I tell this to my friends, sure, they'll laugh. But what if I tell this to somebody I've never met before? Yeah, most likely it's not funny. And 99% of the stuff that I've written, it's garbage. What makes it onto the stage is like maybe 1%, you know? So
let's see some of that, man. You have some of that. You have some of the jokes that didn't make it. We want some of the jokes that didn't make it to the set. You want to hear some of that?
The ideas.
No. I really, I mean, it'll either get no laughs or most likely get me thrown in jail. So I don't know if like really dark. Actually, it's kind of interesting that you mentioned about the intro as well with comedy and fintech. I think I'm reaching a point where I can start to combine both of them. So end of Feb is Mexico Fintech Week, right?
Okay.
And on Friday, they're doing a stand-up show, which is just meant to roast tech people. And I'm performing there.
Okay.
Oh, that's
all right.
Cool.
So
I'm
that's
so
going to be.
excited.
Is
So,
it the first time you're kind of doing this, bridging both sides?
I've done it
new
before.
material?
I've done it before, and it was very cathartic. It's almost like therapy because tech is my day-to-day job, and comedy is like more like my hobby. So I'll never, come home one day and be like, "Oh man, I hate being a comedian," because it's a hobby. But tech, I'm gonna complain and bitch and moan all the time because it's my day job, right? So I had just shut down my startup, and it was a very difficult experience. Great learning experience, but a very difficult experience personally. You built a team, you've raised money, and then you got to let all of that go. And you have to worry about getting a job now, right? So the way what happened was that my largest investor, they have a very, very good podcast as well. And they were like, let's record a podcast live. But before they did that, they were like, maybe we should get a comedian or somebody to warm up the crowd a little. So that's what I did. So I was on the tail end of just having shut down my startup. A bunch of entrepreneurs, wannabe entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs, investors. Okay. I just started roasting and going at them. All just went after like, oh, you guys are bad at this, and oh, you want to be an entrepreneur and whatnot, you're not gonna make it. Like, just started going. It wasn't like a meltdown, but I had to make it funny, right? So essentially, I'm gonna be doing that end of February. I'm very, very excited about it.
So okay, for this group of people, you're going to have like a whole different set, or is it you're going to mix them, or how is
There
it?
will be a little bit of mixing, but to be honest, most of it will be completely different because it's all
Very
about
technical.
exactly, exactly. Certain jokes that
Okay.
people within the industry will get, but maybe it might be difficult for people outside, you know?
Okay. Yeah, you should record it so you can share it. Yeah, we will share it on
Let's
that
see how
first
it goes.
show.
Because
Yeah, for
the
sure.
last time
Send
I
us
did
some
it, they were not
clips.
even expecting. Sorry to interrupt. The last time I did it, they were not even expecting. They're like, why is this guy walking around saying stuff? And then I was like, did
They're like,
nobody
what's
tell me
going
that I'm
on?
supposed to be doing comedy here? At least now
They
they're
don't even know.
expecting it.
Security, get this dude.
Exactly. Why is this guy walking around being extra?
So what was the reception like the first time you did it?
I had to go all out, guns blazing, because the audience was a bit bored. There was a lot of of course, very interesting people. So, but very serious conversations. So they had no idea that there'll be some guy going like, like some guy just started making jokes out of nowhere. So
Yeah, the environment is actually tougher, right? Because they
yeah,
are all expecting
Yeah.
to be very
people,
pretty
the audience
proper.
was cold,
And the
completely
audience is
cold,
so
as in like not physically cold, but like they were not in the mood to laugh. They were like all there serious, sitting down with their notebooks and whatnot.
No,
And
yeah, I
I
mean
didn't
like
even
in a bar.
I didn't even get an intro.
You didn't even get no. Okay,
I
you
didn't
need an
just feel like,
intro.
hey,
You need
I was-
somebody needs
I
to
was like,
say.
Yeah,
hey.
exactly. I was just gonna say, if no one giving, if there's no one to introduce you, so there you are standing on the stage with the mic, right, and saying your first few jokes, and people are not they
They're like, what is
they're like,
happening?
what's going on?
Is he just
Yeah.
insulting?
Or like, is this guy gate crashing the event?
Oh,
He's
right,
talking
yeah.
shit for no reason.
They're like, okay, who's he? What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. But no security arrived, so they were like, there must be something he's doing, I guess.
So the crowd started coming more and more, like to see what's going on, or
Yeah,
were they already?
I mean,
like,
it was inside like a hall sort of thing,
Okay.
and they had set up the whole thing to record the podcast live. Right, there were like these couches, there were mics and whatnot, and there were like people seated in chairs. I think like 30, 40 people or something. But from the start, like nobody was prepared for it, and then I started giving my perspectives in this particular situation. It's good to be able to do crowd work, because that's how you warm up the crowd, by interacting with them. And if it's
Okay.
just me talking, it's not that people are not going to tune in because they're not here for me in the first place, right? And I'm not good with crowd work. So that joke that they were saying that I lock into that one person in the crowd and I say something, of course it's prepared. Like if something happens, I've no idea how to deal with it because I'm not good
Right.
with crowd work. Like before I get on
Okay.
stage, I have all my jokes memorized. I can do them in my sleep. If I can't do that, then I'm not ready to do
they're not
stand-up.
ready.
Yeah.
That is cool. So kind of you're kind of mixing that a bit with kind of what actually happens, right, in
Yeah.
the moment, the live
Yeah.
flowing.
Yeah, I mean, like when you that freestyle that you're saying you're not prepared for, right? I mean, like as
Freestyle.
vocalists, like improv,
Yeah.
like as vocalists, we also like
Mhm.
there is also that side, right?
Oh, yeah,
For us.
yeah.
Yeah, so like it's only whether you want to push it. I mean, the first few times you're probably going to crash. Yeah, but it's cool. Like if you want to push that,
Yeah.
So
I'm
so
curious,
it's
man.
not prepared. It's not that you're not prepared, but like that you might get some ego hits. Like, oh, nobody's laughing.
It's more like you got to be prepared for the ego hits. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There've been
Yeah, I'm kind of
times.
curious. No, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, there've been times where it's genuinely felt like bad. Like most of the time, I can brush it off. I'm like, yo, you know what? I just didn't click today. Whatever, and shit happens. Walk it off. But there were times where I genuinely felt like, oof, I'm gonna need to see my therapist after this. And that was my aim for 2025. That I wanted to do comedy in the most uncomfortable places. That was my
Wow,
aim,
really
as
pushing
in,
yourself.
That's cool.
right, exactly. Because it's not that I feel like, oh, I'm so accomplished that it's everything is too easy. No, it's not. It's just I wanted to make sure that at least I keep it fun because I have nothing to lose. So,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and big up to you guys for always inviting me to your
Pushing you.
shows, which are
Bringing
always
you
in the
up.
most uncomfortable. Like, for example, the barbershop. Me, a bald guy, doing shows in a barbershop. Like, people just cutting
And
their
also,
hair, and I was like, oh, just start doing jokes for no reason.
also the Chinese New Year one, right? Then you did
Yeah,
it completely
Chinese
in
New Year.
Spanish.
Yo, big shout out to Bodega Barbers. Yeah, that was an interesting kind of thing, pop-up thing that happened. People were like really confused. Some of them were like, "Where is it happening here?" And like,
Yeah, it was fun.
And the
it
audience
real
was
fun.
great. I mean, they couldn't leave. They're getting their haircut.
Yeah.
They couldn't be like,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this guy sucks, and then just half of their head shaved. No, they couldn't leave, which is actually really captivating. It's great. If you have a crowd that's held hostage, they have to listen to your stuff. The Chinese
So,
New
yeah,
Year one as well, extremely difficult because it was just kids and grandmothers, which is
Yeah.
totally my crowd. No, not at all. It's the opposite
yeah.
of my crowd.
Yeah,
And in
I'm sure.
Spanish.
Yeah, you did that one in
Yeah.
Spanish, right?
Yeah.
Was that your first time like completely in
That's pretty cool.
Spanish? Because it was pretty much like nearly the whole thing was in Spanish.
It wasn't my first time, but it was a very different audience that I had to sort of relate with.
Yeah, this is like neighborhood,
Correct.
and usually you do in the bars.
Yeah.
Demographic is like more to like young people, not that young.
Yeah.
This is like kids, yeah.
Yeah, well, but it felt
Yeah.
more of like a neighborhood kind of vibe, and I think you handled that one pretty cool, man. I mean, like
Did
I
you?
remember
He
you
didn't do
kind
the
of
dick
sat
joke.
down on the stage and kind of
Yeah.
what joke?
Correct.
He did the dick jokes. He didn't do the dick.
I think you.
I doubt it.
did.
I doubt it.
Yeah. I think you
doubt
did.
that I would be trying that on grandmothers.
Yeah.
But yeah, yo, that's cool, man. And you know what? That foreign show salutes you for that attitude or what you just said of wanting to do, or put yourself in difficult situations with your comedy, right? As artists, we really understand that because it's another way to kind of sharpen your skills, right? And sharpen
Mhm.
and kind of put yourself in a situation which you can't really plan for, right?
Mhm.
And actually with that in mind, I'm a bit curious if you actually remember or your opening to that last Fintech show, because I would imagine that that moment, those first few jokes would have been like the most difficult ones, right? Because people don't even know you're doing stand-up, right?
But
So
he can't give it away now because he might
Oh,
have
that's true.
similar joke. Or
No.
that's true.
I think
So we-
some of them you've heard before because they're not like super technical in that sense. It's just the idea is to frame it that I was an entrepreneur and whatnot. And I think there is a video of me somewhere
Okay.
where I'm doing that. I don't know where or how I'll be able to find it, but essentially it's like I think I started with like just right out the gate.
She's laughing already.
I'm just laughing at the friend of the show thing that you put.
Friend of the show? Yeah, you just got that. I didn't know what to put. I didn't know. I was like,
No, but-
oh. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm a friend of the show. So.
You could put ridiculous.
Yeah, I should have put my Instagram.
Friend of the show.
No worries. You know what? Find that clip, send it to us. We're gonna share it, and then
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I think I started off with just right out of the gate, like talking about how I closed down my company recently, and this, that, and then immediately started making fun of the types of founders. You always find every industry, especially the music industry and whatnot, there's different certain archetypes of people. right? Like for example, Isaac, you're a rapper through and through, right? If tomorrow I ask you to do opera, that's not who you are, right?
Right.
And there's different types of founders as well.
You should have one lined up already.
It's like laughing
Ready to
at
go.
everything. Okay.
No, but yes, no, I hear your point. Yeah, yeah.
And there are different types of founders. Like you'll find that, and I'm sure you must have felt these before, or come across these before, where it's like, these Tuluminati types.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ultra hippie. You always see them at some retreat, but they have a startup. Like when the fuck are you working? You know what I mean? they're always in some like silent retreat. Like you know that you have to talk to people to sell your product, right? You can't diffuse ideas into or like they'll say stupid shit like when Jupiter and Mars align, that's when I'll be able to raise money. Hey, I can't stand that. So, like, a lot of it was just me feeling frustrated that how does this guy have a company and I don't anymore? So I was just picking out like the archetypes of the different types of founders, and people started relating. Especially the people who are investors.
So funny. Yeah, like this whole setup is
Yeah,
very funny.
It's very funny and pretty cool too. I mean, like you just give us a bit of insight into how you think and do your thing there. Like you're saying that that joke, right? I mean, I don't know if you're modeling it after a specific person or not, but it's just kind of something that you've experienced, right? Oh, you are okay.
And fuck that guy. You know what?
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I think the most fun part for us, like even though we're not like finance people, would be to see you like attack the
In the
finance.
mode of saying, fuck that guy, and you
Exactly.
being
What's he gonna do? He's a hippie. He can't do shit.
You can actually take the entire experience of this like stand-up show that you're gonna be doing. You can take the whole thing and then you can actually share it on a regular show. You can tell everyone like this last weekend I went to do this and blah blah blah.
Yeah. I mean, so for example, one of the jokes that I've been writing is essentially about what I wanted to do for 2025 in terms of stand-up, which was in the most uncomfortable positions, right? Okay. So part of that obviously is pushing yourself, but also dealing with that failure. So you guys know the barbershop, the Chinese New Year, but the other two you don't know, which after that I generally was like, I got to stop doing this to myself, was I went to a kid's birthday party and they're all like 7 years old, and the host didn't introduce me correctly. She's told the kids that I'll be doing jokes for 7-year-olds.
Oh my
and
God.
My jokes are not the opposite of what a 7-year-old should be hearing. And then all the kids were all seated nicely and whatnot. Within 2 minutes, they all got up and left.
Yeah, I don't think
you're not funny. And they just left. I was like,
oh man.
Oh wow.
The adults were having fun, but the kids did just direct. And then the last one where I generally was like, oh man, I got to change my aim for 2026, which was my friend's bachelor party. And they decided to go to a strip club. Not really my scene, but essentially I saw a stage and I was like, fuck it, I'll do some stand-up. And they're like, yeah, you should.
Wow, good for you.
At some point,
change your friend
that we had sort of, that were giving all they started booing me. I was like, that's like paid audience.
But what did you say that they will boo you?
Yeah.
It just I was not able to relate to them. None of my jokes were landing because they were like, asking, I think Mexicans are obsessed with Indians. They were like, what's an Indian? It's not really
okay, yeah.
Right.
It's not really the day-to-day life that they are thinking about these things, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like they don't even know what to think about an Indian person, like what the culture is like, what is this, or whatever, right? Like
Exactly.
it won't be funny. Yeah.
So and then what happened at the children's party to make them walk away?
I was just doing some jokes, and my jokes are not like a lot of physical comedy. You know, kids, for example, they love like the Charlie Chaplin, Mr. Bean stuff because it's in your face. It's not
Funny
really
and
my kind of thing, and I was not prepared for all the kids to be sitting there, waiting for me to make them laugh, and I was like, yeah, okay.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you said the adults have fun, so you know.
Yeah.
Plus
The adults were great.
barrier, no? Plus the language is going to be another thing. You're doing in English and yeah.
So
and
starting off strong again, like essentially something that bridges the gap between myself and the audience, allows me to connect with them. So like, oh, do you guys know that Mexicans have an accent? You know, the Chilango accent. And a lot of Chilangos don't even know that. They just assume that's the accent. Not true at all.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like making that sort of connection. And then after that, delving a bit more into other things I wanted to talk about, like, you know, about blowjobs being illegal in Singapore. It's always at the top of my mind. That is the most important.
Top stuff you want to talk about.
Yo, at this point, right, hearing you speak, and I want to ask you also on this topic of you kind of testing yourself with your comedy in a sense, right? Putting yourself in difficult situations. So are you kind of in a way preparing yourself for a particular situation? Like, is there an ideal situation that you're kind of like that is actually what you are training yourself towards, like?
It's a very interesting question. Nobody's asked me that before. I mean, I think unless it's like a super impromptu stand-up set, whatever, normally I have a very good control over the situation because I've been invited to do stand-up. I'll go a bit early to study the audience, have a chat, understand what type of people they are. Because I could have a set planned in a certain way, which I think people would like. But then if, let's say, I turn up and all of it is about Mexico, it's not a single Mexican there, then I have to completely change my joke list. So in that sense, I do normally have a very good control of the situation. But like, for example, this year, I want to lose control in that sense where I'm thinking, or my aim this year is to do a 2-man stand-up comedy show. Instead of, because everybody does stand-up, it's always one guy, right? Now let's increase the chaos by having a 2-person joke with each other and involve the audience. I've never seen that in Mexico before. And I'm very confused as to why, because it's not like I'm going to do theater or something, but it should feel like it's natural with certain punchlines and involving the audience. So that's how I want to push. And I can't prepare for that because maybe me and the other comedian, we have a good chemistry vibe and we're vibing with each other, but the audience does not connect with it at all. No idea how that will work, but let's see. I haven't even found the other comedian yet or on whom I should be doing this with.
Yeah, but it's cool that you have some vision and some goal to push yourself this year. Challenge yourself with this hobby that you said. Okay, you know what? We have like only
stand-up comedians,
about
right?
10
Instead
minutes.
of stand-up comedy, it's like two
Stand-up
comedians.
Yeah. So
10 minutes left. Oh,
so
wow.
we have 10 minutes left. I would like to also talk about your podcasting a little bit. We did mention that you do that.
Yeah, so whoever's listening, Celeste and Isaac will be on my podcast. It's mostly a fintech or like a business type podcast where, let's say you are somebody who has no idea how Mexico and Latin America work from a tech perspective or from a business perspective. Because a lot of times people are like, I did like for example, a lot of people like to draw a parallel between Mexico and I don't know, Philippines or Indonesia. Very simple, similar sort of emerging market kind of thing. So a lot of people are like, oh, this worked in Philippines, so it should work in a country like Mexico. Normally it doesn't. So that's the demystifying a lot of things. Like a lot of people normally read the news that this so and so company raised billions of dollars. Why? How does that happen? How do you raise money? Who do you go to? That sort of stuff. And every fourth episode, I have a mystery guest who talks about things that are business related, but with nothing to do with fintech. So I've had people who worked for Mexico doing strategy during the pandemic, where I was like, what are you guys gonna do now? You know, the world is shut down. How does an airline survive? I've had a stand-up comedian as well. What is the business of comedy? How much do you make? How much did Netflix pay you? Right? And now I'm very excited to speak with Isaac and Celeste about
we're looking
music,
forward
the business of music. How do you guys make money? Why is Spotify always hated by musicians? What is the role of AI? Why is AI stealing so much music and nobody's doing anything about it? You know, that sort of
all
stuff.
of these questions you get to ask us
When, not now.
not now.
During your
When
podcast.
we
can start. We're starting the podcast now.
right now.
Hijacking.
Wait, but tell the people where they can find your podcast. What it's called?
Yeah, it's called Lifetime Value on Spotify.
Lifetime Value. Okay.
Yeah, it's on Apple, Google, all of that. And I think, how do I say, it's so easy to do, like, just put a mic and talk. But the quality, the questions, certain things I didn't even know, like, for example, how do you publish a podcast? I had no idea. Right? I was like, so I had to do my research. I had to buy a mic. Now I use AI to do all my editing instead of doing it step by step. So leveraging or learning all of these technologies, it's not as simple as people think. Like, I just open up my computer, open up a video, Zoom video, talk nonsense with people and just publish it. It's a bit more to it than that.
I'm sure it's like the thing that you mentioned. That sounded really interesting. Getting the Aeromexico dude to talk about operations during COVID time. So who do you find your listeners? Like usually.
Usually my mom and dad only.
Not so
too supportive.
You're doing good with it.
But I would say like a lot of people who are within the sort of like the tech or finance world within Mexico, because they would have heard of these people before or these companies before, to kind of be like, I've never seen somebody talk to this guy. I wonder what he has to say. The important thing I think as a host, which you guys are great at, right, is be the lubricant. It's not about you. It's like you have to sort of, carry the guest, make them feel special, even though it's your podcast, which is usually so opposite, right? It's like you come to my house and I'm, sitting on the floor while you sit on the couch, that sort of thing. Right. Very fascinating.
Right. And your programs, I mean, you let the guests kind of, most of these guests, like for us, I mean, like when we invite guests, we kind of, we bring people who have something that they want to promote and stuff. Mm-hmm. And also we have an idea of how we want the show to go, certain things that we want to talk about, and we kind of marry the two, Mm-hmm. In your case, do you like, is it kind of a free-flowing kind of style, or do you have questions already all set up and everything?
So to give a bit more about what's the meaning of lifetime value, right? Like in marketing and in finance, there's this term, which is the client lifetime value, which is if tomorrow, let's say I sell you an Apple phone, how long will Isaac and Celeste be a client of Apple? What is that time and how much money do I make? So that is called lifetime value, and that's where I got that. It's a very common term within this industry, right? And then part of the calculation of this is this thing called a payback period. So for example, I sell you that, or I give you that Apple phone, right? It cost me money to make that phone and market that phone to you. So that's like sunk cost, right? It's like I spend $100 to acquire you. How long does it take to make money from Isaac and Celeste to get to zero, or to start making money from you guys? So that is called a payback period. So the way my podcast works is almost like a double entendre. I'll send an intro questions for the guests to double check and whatnot. And there's this thing called payback period, which is where the guest asks me a question, right? Because it has a double meaning. Payback period is the time that you need to make money from my client, but payback period in the other way around also, it's like, let me get you paid, let me get you back, because you've been asking me questions. So people ask me a question, and then we sort of end off the show. Yeah.
So you kind of flip it on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically,
now we have a heads up.
There's the
what
link
to expect before.
that's the link for lifetime value, the Spotify show.
Yes.
And thank you for sharing with us today, Ritik. This is like your second time on Tech Forum Show, right? Yeah.
Always happy to be here.
Yeah, we're always glad to have you on.
And we are at the end of our show. My name is Celestine Angel.
My name is Isaac Rakesh.
And we have Ritik B with us here on ADR Network.
Friend of the show.
Activating your senses.
Peace.
Okay. Peace out. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you to all who joined us here on That Foreign Show. It's been awesome. I'm Celestine Angel.
And I'm Isaac Crouch, and we'll see you next Friday. Have a great weekend, y'all.